Welcome to the Love on the Go podcast, brought to you by Carolina's Matchmaker. I'm Lori Burzak, and for over 17 years, I've been helping singles find the relationship of their dreams all over the Carolinas. Along the journey, I've met so many amazing professionals and experts from various fields, and I'm excited to introduce them to you. What's my goal? I want to help you look at love and relationships in a new way and to grow in your understanding of how love works. Let's learn together how people have overcome personal obstacles and have found love, first and foremost with themselves. The ultimate goal is realizing that you are worthy and deserving of love. Let's get started. Okay, y'all, we have an amazing guest today on the podcast. Say hello to Meredith Dean.
Hello. Just happy to be here.
Yeah, and if you want to watch this, by the way, it's on YouTube as well on Carolina's Matchmaker channel. So Meredith Dean is a digital branding and career consultant, community builder, travel and lifestyle content creator, and she is a university educator, former journalist, speaker, and entrepreneur, and she focuses on DEI initiatives. And Meredith Meredith has changed my life. So I just want to say that up front.
Are we already crying at the beginning of this podcast?
We're going to start crying immediately. All right. So here's the deal. I hired Meredith. I was at a real standstill with my social media. And if anyone's been following me at Carolina's Matchmaker on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of it, LinkedIn, Twitter, my energy and focus was not on social media because I'm a business owner and I did not have time to be creating cool reels and putting out all this content and stuff because I was trying to work on managing my business, trying to get with people for education, sales, coaching, matchmaking. Imagine having to do all of that plus social media. So Meredith announces that she has gone out on her own and that she is going to start working with people with social media, training them and whatnot. And I was like, okay, that sounds amazing. So I set up a consultation with her, just like a 20-minute freebie consultation. And then we did like a 1-hour meeting at the People's Market. And she went through everything with me, taught me all this kind of stuff. We even created a reel that very day. And then I was like, that was good. I'm going to do another hour. So I did another hour. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to hire Meredith for like her small program. And then we started churning out like 2 reels a week, and she was doing stories for me every day. And then she completely took over for a little bit. And then the next month I was like, let's have Meredith do everything for me for a month. And that's when, even before that, all of a sudden, tons and tons of applications coming in, like new people finding my stuff. I know she's snapping her fingers on the video. And I realized that what was happening was I was creating this content. She was creating this content for me. And, I was showing up for it and doing the work that you need to do to really get out there. And people were finding me organically. I don't pay for advertising. This is really word of mouth and, search engine optimization. But all of a sudden people are telling me, oh yeah, I have no idea how I really found you. I was just on Facebook one day and all of a sudden I saw your reel come across, or same with Instagram. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So even though they weren't following me, I was showing up. So that's all about brand awareness, all that kind of stuff. And so Meredith has been amazing. Then after she did that whole big thing for me, and it's not inexpensive to hire Meredith, what she did was she trained somebody on my staff to learn how to do everything. So I hired her for another month to help her train people. And then frankly, another month just to oversee. So it has been a journey working with Meredith. She's been phenomenal. I recommend anybody that's listening, if you want to do better social media content or LinkedIn, like there's 1,000 things she does, and we'll talk about all that at the end. Definitely go to the Dean's List, and we'll put all this in the show notes, everything. But what I really want to talk to y'all about today with Meredith is, okay, there's a lot of, there's various dating apps that connect to your social media. And so I want to talk about the importance of your presence on social media and what that looks like, because that's your brand. No matter what you think, that is your brand. And if people are scrolling back in your timeline, in your feed, and they see you with somebody that looks like a love interest, or they see you acting out in some kind of zany way, where it's like, does that really represent you still? Like, at what point? So I want to talk about that. Let's start that conversation. And I have like 1,000 questions around it, but just give me your opinion right now, Meredith, on the importance of your presence on social media and what you're putting out there and how to be authentic.
Well, I couldn't agree more with everything that you just said. And thank you for the sweet compliments. Number one, the way I like to look at brands is think about if you even want to go to a restaurant, what are you looking up first?
I mean, I'm on Instagram.
You're on Instagram, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're thinking about dating someone and maybe you matched with them on Hinge or Tinder or Bumble, where are you looking at them first?
Yeah. Same. Social
Same.
media.
Instagram, social
absolutely.
media, because you want to make sure that person is maybe the same that they're presenting on that app. So your brand is huge and you're going to get one shot at it, right? So people are going to go look at your Instagram, see if that works for you. If it doesn't, they're moving on to the next match really quickly. So how can we make this really awesome social media profile that will also make you attractive to that person that's your potential love match? So like you're saying, you want to make sure that you are cleaning up your past too, to make sure that represents the person that you are currently. So if you're seeing all these pictures of exes all the time, they're going to think, man, you're still hung up on that person, even if it's just because you haven't looked at that stuff in the past. You haven't thought about it, but maybe that person has. So my key to this is archive things. I don't believe in deleting your past, right? That's how you become the person that you are today. So I don't think you need to totally get rid of it. I think it's great. We learn something from every relationship we're in. So archive it, meaning it's not going to show up on your profile. You're not going to see it there, but it's still in your archived material. So it's in a totally different section. It's not deleted from the world. It's not off the servers. It is archived.
And is that like you click on the three dots and it archive? There's an option just to click archive. Okay.
Delete, you hit archive.
Yeah. Love that. Okay. That's great. I do think it's important sometimes to have like maybe one picture of your ex. I'm like, okay, that's okay. It shows that you've been in a relationship and that does exist. So like, I'm okay with one. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it also shows people maybe your sexual orientation too. So maybe they understand, oh, this person does date men. So it's funny because for my profile, a lot of people have thought because I'm so pro female empowerment and I just love women so much, people have actually thought that I was a lesbian and asked, and it's actually not my orientation. So that's great. But I think that's a great point, is it's okay to still have an ex. I mean, I definitely still have a couple pictures of my exes from years prior, and I'm not deleting them out of my lives. They meant something to me at that point, but then you move forward. Okay,
that's perfect. What's your opinion on filters?
I think in this world, I mean, you've seen on TikTok, you have a great presence on TikTok. It scares me how much people can change from one filter. And what AI is doing. I mean, it can even slim your face.
Oh yeah.
And that's just not reality. It's not good for people's mental health. It's also not good for men's expectations. Women kind of know these filters. They've seen them a lot, but sometimes men might not realize it's an actual filter. So they think all women look like that. And that's just in media in general, right? We think that all women are this perfect body and whatever, but I really think that the rise of influencers who are showing body hair, who are showing that they have cellulite, those are the ones that are actually doing the best now, or women that aren't even wearing makeup on camera and showing the realness. So I'm all for not getting all done and having a million filters.
Yeah, totally. So I never use filters, just because
you're very good about that.
Why? Like, who cares? I'm not trying to impress anybody. Like, my message out to people is like, let me give you some good content that will be useful to you. I'm not expecting people to think I'm hot or beautiful, or it does not matter what this is. I mean, I need to look presentable, but I need to be factual and I need to be helpful, period. That's what it's about. And I think that we've gotten so caught up in society with, we need to look so good and we need to, I mean, that being said, I mean, I got the nails, I got the makeup on, I did my hair. I'm going to look the best I can, but I'm not going to use a filter to make me look like somebody I'm not, because it's setting people up. Then they meet you and it's like, wait, who are you?
Are you that same person? But then you could even argue, going into makeup.
Yeah, you could.
Makeup is a filter in real life, right? That's not what you actually look
like. But if you're showing up looking like you do online, then it's okay. You're not masking anything, for sure. Exactly. Something I have noticed women do is they'll take the picture of themselves from high up to make them look like they're 4 sizes smaller. Stop it, please. It does not matter. I don't know how many times I have to say this. It doesn't matter what size you are. If you're online dating, Show exactly what you look like, and there will be somebody who thinks you're hot.
Absolutely. I totally,
Period.
yeah, I
Now, whether
totally,
you like them or not is a different story. But like the more transparent you are, because the worst thing in the world is to show up to a date and the person looks at you and they're like, wait, this is not what I signed up for. If you think that you're gonna trick them by the hot picture and then get them to fall in love with you based on your personality or something, that's not how it works. Show what you look like. You are beautiful at any size. Let it go. I loved Lizzo. I don't know if did you see yesterday? I saw it
I
come
didn't
across my.
see anything she did yesterday,
So
but I love Lizzo.
I don't know when she did this, but yesterday I saw, and I saw that she did this little speaking point that said, I don't want to be thin. I don't want to lose weight. She says, because like I need all this energy to be able to perform. And it's interesting because, and we're going to go to my girl Taylor Swift, because I just watched Miss, for
I
those of
love
you
that.
who
Miss
don't
Americana.
know, I'm obsessed with Taylor Swift. We'll tag her on this. She said in Miss Americana that there was a period of time where she just wasn't eating and she had an eating disorder. And she was trying to look very thin, and she was questioning to herself, is it normal that halfway through my show I feel like I'm going to pass out, and then at the end of my show I'm just done, just like peel me off the floor? I'm using my own words. And now she's definitely a healthier weight. And she is not complaining that I've heard about any issues to do with her health. So that being said, it's, and, I work with men with, in, heterosexual relationships that are saying to me, I don't want a size 0, a size 2 woman. I want something to hold on to. So I really wish that we could all just let go and of this narrative. Like, who created it anyway? About slim
I
and
think in
slender
general,
and tiny
people,
and ugh.
I think Ariana Grande actually had a really, really good post the other day that she put out. My thing is like, I don't talk about people's bodies. Like,
Yeah,
you have no right. I don't think anyone has any right to say anything about anyone's body at any time.
that's right.
You never know what people are going through mentally. You never know
Yeah,
what their situation is in life. And
yeah,
everyone is beautiful. Literally everyone is so beautiful, and
yes.
every single culture. And I just don't understand why people even want to comment. I think it's dumb.
It's so horrible. The things that people write about online is just absolutely terrible. And so as a result, getting back to our original conversation, I do think that people are sometimes apprehensive about sort of really putting themselves out there and really saying their truth because they're afraid, oh, what if that person judges me or forwards this on to somebody else? And it's funny because sometimes I'll post something and it'll have like 15 shares or something. And I'm like, who's sharing this? Who's looking at this? It's like, you don't know who's looking at it, but it's the same with just people. Sometimes when people are single and they're dating, they feel very vulnerable and they don't really want to put themselves out there too much. So what do you suggest to that kind of person that maybe they want to create a little social media presence, but they don't know how much or how far to go? Like, what do you recommend that they do?
So I think I understand the trepidation to being
Mhm.
afraid to put yourself out there, and I think everyone's capacity for what they're capable of putting out there is going to be different, and you have to
Mhm.
follow what is going to work for you mental health wise. But I think it does
Yes.
the world a disservice by not sharing your knowledge that you have with the world or your experiences, because you never know how it's going to hit for another person or how it's going to change their life. I think
Mhm.
words really matter, and you have the ability to lift people up or you can tear them down. And I
Mhm.
think that it's really important for us to focus on the former, because there is a lot of negativity in the world, but there's also a lot of positivity. And follow the right people on social media. If you get a weird feeling from watching someone's content, or you're seeing this model and it's really hurting your feelings, or you feel like it's not content
Mhm.
that is bringing you to a new level in your life, unfollow or mute. Even for
Mhm.
me, I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea. That's okay. That is totally fine. You can go ahead and unfollow me or mute me. But for countless other people, they've gone, wow, that one post you made, that really changed my whole day around. I was having the worst day.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I would say don't hide yourself with the great knowledge you have to give. Just make sure what you're putting out it's educational, it's uplifting, and
Mhm.
it's kind. And if you got those three things, you're good to go.
I love that. Yes, always be helpful. That's beautiful. What do you think is how can we meet people maybe a little more organically in real life? I know you're very much you're all over the place. You're doing fun things all the time. What do you recommend to people?
So the Dean's List is all about, helping your online presence while making an offline impact. There's nothing more important than in-person interaction. So there's a couple of different things you can do in Charlotte and beyond. But one of my favorite events, which you can meet the most incredible people, and I'm not saying that this is a dating event, but you're meeting people that have the same values as you, which I think is really important, just like how some people want to meet at synagogue or mosque or church. For me, Creative Mornings has been phenomenal, meeting some of my best friends, some people I look up to so much. And you never know, you might meet someone there that could be your future husband or wife. So Creative Mornings is a free event every Friday of each month.
First Friday, right?
It's normally first Friday. It could be
okay.
It's free and it's in the morning and it's like a variety show. There's all these different games. There's a keynote speaker, kind of like a TED Talk. There's 60-second pitches where people are able to pitch what they have going on in the community. But to me, it's one of the best events and you're going to meet a lot of incredible people there and super diverse people too. Another thing is there's Charlotte Hot Girl Walks. If you're looking to meet new friends, they're free. They just get together in a different place in South End and hang out.
Yes.
Charlotte Social Club just had 400 people get together at Vinyl. My friend Katie Sheehan put it on and she just posted a video on TikTok and said, hey, would just love to meet people organically. Show up here. This is where it's going to be. We'd love to see you. 400 people showed up.
Oh my God. I love it.
It's
I
amazing.
love that.
So people are craving connection at all times. It's just about finding those right organizations that tend to kind of fit what your values and what your mission is.
That's great. We're going to put those links in the notes. I have another question back to social media a little bit. Let's talk about stories and people watching you on your stories. I'll sometimes, so there's a woman that I did some coaching with and she went on a date with a guy and he said, he wasn't interested in pursuing anything with her. He wasn't in the right frame of mind, whatever it was. She comes back to me, she's like, he's literally watching every single story of mine and liking it or loving it or whatever. Does it mean anything, in your opinion, if somebody is watching your stuff?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And it's also ranked by an order of who's looking at your stuff the most.
So, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You need to teach us about that. It means I don't know anything about that.
Okay, so the first couple of people you see when you look at the people who look at your story, that's who's watching your stuff the most consistently, supposedly.
So it's not in order, chronological order.
It's not in chronological order, like who saw it at a certain time. At the beginning it is, right? When you first post something and you see those are the first people that see it. But say you're 15 hours into a story you just posted, normally going to be in order of who has interacted with your profile the most.
So when you say interacted, does that mean they have to like it or love it, or is it just looking, the voyeur?
That's probably a question for Instagram and for their creators, because of course algorithm is changing all the time. But from what I've heard, from what I've understood, especially with some of my girlfriends who've gone through a breakup and they're seeing their ex pop up a lot there. It's because they are looking at your stories the most.
Okay. And here's a question that I have for you. It's a very specific question. I was on Instagram last night and at 11:30, I think, when you and I were chatting back and forth, and I noticed something that I hadn't really noticed before. I went into View Insights. Okay. And they talk about exit, forward. What is it?
Backward.
Yeah.
Yep. Exiting.
What's that?
Forward,
explain
backward. That. So you can have multiple frames when you have a story, right? You post one story, post a second story, a third story, meaning there's 3 frames. So people are able to exit out, like they just don't even look at stories anymore, or they hit forward on the side of the screen, on the right-hand side of the screen to go to the next slide, or they hit backward. So they rewatched it. They rewatched that same slide.
Or they could look at stuff you've done before that slide. So say you're on number 5, it comes across their feed. Then they're like, wait, what else has she done? And he done back. Okay. That's interesting just to notice in terms of engagement. And if you're kind of like watching somebody watching you, it's like, ooh, but you don't know the specific person that did it. You just know
who actually did that, or who shared it, or who saved it.
You don't. Although you can see who saves it on TikTok.
Yes, yes,
which
very
is so interesting to me. I'm like, wait a minute, who just saved it? And then I'm going to look
that's
at
cool.
them and see who it is. Is that somebody I need to follow back? All that kind of stuff. Or did they
I
just
think
go there,
key
not follow
though,
me, save it?
the key to all of this though, as we're talking about it,
Yeah,
don't overthink it.
no,
Do not overthink it. A lot of people tend to think, oh, my ex wants to be with me again. If they're the ones
yes,
that are looking at your story all the time, that's
yeah,
not necessary.
no. Actions. So here's where it's confusing. It's like they say actions speak louder than words, and it looks like an action when somebody is watching you and your stories, but in actuality, it's not. It's a passive action. Here's what a real action looks like. Somebody is interested in you. They text you, they call you, they ask you out, they want to get together, they want to know what's inside your brain, they're excited about you, they want to touch you, they want to kiss you, they want to marry you, whatever it is, but it's not just looking at your freaking stories.
Amen. Amen. Here's an action. Yes, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
it's a small action, but we'll call it a passive one. And
Yeah. Stop
it's
thinking they want to get back together with you or
uh-uh,
taking an action just by looking at your stuff. That's so passive.
it is.
They're going to slide into those DMs. I have 3 friends who have gotten married from DMs that slid in on Instagram. And it was because it was a good DM that came in. It was something that had to do with something they were doing. They were genuinely interested. They had that conversation and went from there. They didn't just like their posts.
Okay, so that's a great thing to talk about. You don't think it's creepy for somebody to just reach out to someone that they've never met before based on a post? And what's the best way to do it?
That's what Nick Jonas did for Priyanka.
Oh my God.
He slid into her DMs. I mean, I think, of course it's based on how you do it. It's
Yeah.
what your relationship is with that person.
Yeah.
Priyanka was like, I love that. That showed his confidence and
Yeah.
great. I think there's nothing wrong with that personally at
Mhm.
all.
So what's like a good opener?
It needs to be based on something you're already doing.
Okay.
So they saw a story and they
Mhm.
go, wow, that event looks really cool. Can you tell me more about it? Or do you have a link? Because then
Mhm.
you're showing that you have shared interest. That's one of
Okay.
the next thing is giving someone their flowers, giving them their kudos. So I saw you put on that really amazing event. I can only imagine how long that took for you to put that on, or
Mhm.
maybe it was an accomplishment. You won a real estate award. Congratulations. That's huge. Proud of you. So you're giving them a little bit of personal feedback versus you look hot in that picture. Or
Right. That's the worst.
the worst is the fire emojis. Like, just stop. Absolutely not.
Wait, does that mean I need to stop doing that?
It's different. It's different for your girlfriends. It's different. It's if you're trying to use that as a pickup technique.
Exactly. I love your eyes. You're hot. No, don't do that, please. And then always ask a question. I think would be good to like kind of let's hit the ping pong ball back and forth. Same with online dating. That's what you want to do. You don't want to just respond to somebody because it's like, are they just responding? Do they not want to engage with me? That kind of thing. Okay,
I love the question because I think
right.
that curiosity is a love language that is not talked about enough. And I'm since my background is journalism,
Mhm.
I a lot of times I'm the one that's asking the questions. I've even had someone in the past on a date say, "Wow, it sounds like you're interviewing me," and it was because he wasn't giving me anything. I mean, he
Yeah.
wasn't asking me any questions, so I wasn't able
Yes.
to really get anything
That's
out.
that is so funny. I get that with date feedback. Oh, it felt like an interview. I felt like I was on a business lunch, this, that, and the other. And it's because somebody or other is not engaging organically with the other. All right. So we're going to wrap up in a few minutes, but what I want to ask you is, can you explain, a little bit about your 29, what is it? 20 under 20? Is that what it's
20
called?
under 20 awards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Explain that, please.
So we are the only 20 under 20 awards in all the Southeast. And this is for 14 to 19-year-old phenomenal teens who are making an impact on their community in Charlotte. So this could be in academic achievements. It could be in community endeavors, just even ways that they are helping their peers and showing leadership. So we do this at Ray Ward in December of this year, and it's really beautiful. We bring all the honorees and their parents and the people who have gotten them to where they are. People can serve on the selection committee. Students can self-nominate or be nominated by someone else. They just have to be 14 to 19 before the 20 under 20 award ceremony in December. But even the North Carolina Office of the Governor and the mayor have supported our program, which is really special.
So if somebody wanted to nominate someone for that, how do they do that?
They go to www.thedeanslist.me/20under20 and they can nominate someone. And we are looking for sponsors. So if you want to get your name out to thousands, and also to people who are really making an impact in the community, this is a great event to sponsor.
Okay, lovely. And then tell us a little bit about the mentoring and the education movement that you are involved in.
Yeah, so I think mentoring is the most important thing that people can do, or be a mentee, because we all need to grow from, learning from each other. So I believe in the 33% rule. You should always be lifting up 33% of people in your life. So mentoring them. You should interact with 33% of people who are on your level, who are trying to get to the next phase in their life so you can relate. And then 33% of people in your life that you can look up to. So someone that is mentoring you as well. So we do mentor events at Queen's University. We've done it at UNCC, all sorts of different universities, but also our selection committee mentors our honorees for 20 under 22.
Wonderful. And then the last thing is, I know that you have some kind of trip coming up. I don't know, it's probably sold out by now, but it looks like you're starting to gather women together to do international travel. Tell us about that.
Yeah, and not just women either. So, my dream when I was little was to be a reporter for CNN and travel all over the world, right? And it's changed a little bit over time. And now I am able to travel with groups of people who are kind, open-minded, good humans. They could be entrepreneurs, creatives, artists. But looking to bring a group to Morocco in October of 2024, because our Bali trip sold out in a week. So that will be May 2024. And we have all ages, genders, industries, backgrounds. We are so excited. It's going to be a great group for Bali. And then if you are interested in traveling with me, you can go to my Instagram link. There's a survey that you fill out and you'll be the first to know when that trip drops.
Love it. You're doing such great things. Is there anything that I've missed? Because I know you do a lot.
Thank you. Well, if someone wants to hire me to help them with their
Yep.
social media, or they need event coverage on social media, live coverage there, I'm happy to help, or a workshop for their entire team. I love teaching. That's one of my favorite things, is empowering other people with those skills to go off and do great things for their brand.
Wonderful. Meredith, do you have a favorite philanthropy that you give to?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. So Habitat Aid Initiative is my family's nonprofit. We take groups to Kenya every single year. So we'll be taking a group of 18 coming up here in 6 weeks. So Habitat Aid is to help build girls' schools, wells, and clinics in Western Kenya. My dad lived there for a long time, got malaria, had to come back to the US. But we're all about supporting women in that Quisera region.
Wow. Awesome. Okay, great. Meredith, thank you so much for your time. It was precious for me and very, very, very helpful.
Good. So glad. Thank you, Lori. You're the best.
Thanks for listening to Love on the Go. I hope you join us on our next episode. You can make sure to know when it is by following us wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed it, it'd be great if you left us a review. I'd appreciate it. In the meantime, to learn more about me and how my team can help you, visit carolinasmatchmaker.com. Until next time.